with me on this video. It is quite lengthy, however it exposes the Ombudsman service for what they truly are. They were put in place by the Welsh Labour government. Unlike in England, where this sort of service does not exist, Welsh Labour government thought they needed an organisation that could suspend or remove councillors should the need arise. I said a councillor shared images of a schoolgirl. The Ombudsman decided that I said the councillor was a paedophile. I said I had attended a training session with Pembrokeshire County Council. My emails proved that I had. The Ombudsman decided to take the register for signing in that day, use liquid paper to cover my signature of attendance, and then go on to say I did not attend. I said animals' lives matter in context with Black lives, white lives, all lives matter. The Ombudsman said that I deliberately compared black people to something that we eat, animals. The Ombudsman submitted 20 emails of complaint about me, and I said that the emails did not contain any specific complaint, not one of them, about the post that they were hearing at the Standards Committee. The Ombudsman and the chairman of the Standards Committee on the day said, yes, they do. Now lay them out in front of yourself, have a look, the facts are there. Not one reference. However, the Ombudsman says there is. There are many more instances, however, this one's good. The RSE sex education curriculum, I said that it was in conjunction and based upon the frameworks provided by UNESCO. The Public Ombudsman Service asked me to prove it. I sent them a letter from Kirsty Williams, the Education Minister, saying that RSE was based upon UNESCO frameworks. The Ombudsman in the report said, I provided no evidence to prove that what I said about it being UNESCO related was true. Just a quick video to explain something here about the downfalls that come with being a councillor who speaks their mind. Had this letter yesterday as an email from the Public Services Ombudsman, and it says, Dear former Councillor Dowson, our reference blah blah blah, bullshit blah blah blah. Further to my letter dated 11th of July, please could you let me know as soon as possible, and by no later than Wednesday the 20th of July, whether you agree to the proposed hearing bundle. Thank you. Okay, so that hearing bundle is the 3 complaints that the Ombudsman referred to the Adjudication Panel for Wales. Now, the 3 complaints that should have not even gone that far because they are that prejudice. However, it gives me the option to write in Welsh, blah, blah, blah. So, I respond. Dear Mr McAndrew, I do not agree with any part of the bundle. It's based upon false information, untruths, a witness who's being investigated by police for a number of offences against me, a complainant who has an ongoing complaint about me, which is still with the CPS after a year, and pages upon pages of prejudicial assumptions based upon the personal bias of the former Ombudsman. Mr Bennett is no longer the Ombudsman, thank God for that. The evidence presented by the Public Service Ombudsman for Wales, although weak and forged in one specific instance, is now out of date. In particular, the RSE evidence, it now appears I was stating fact and not misinformation, as suggested. A judicial review has been granted into the curriculum content, and Wales Online, along with other left-leaning media outlets, are reported on the subject reflecting everything I stated. Complaint number 3 is ridiculous, and I refuse to even acknowledge it. The complainant isn't the person referred to in the evidence, and there's no link or obvious connection to the deliberately created false profile. By his own admission, his intention regarding the fake profile was to avoid any recognition or link to himself. Brentnell is not St. John. That's the 2 surnames. And only Brentnell knows who created the St. John profile. Therefore, Brentnell's feelings, reputation, etc. is undamaged, and it's a brazen display of prejudice from your organisation to bring this complaint against me. Quick explanation there. I got told that I shouldn't be breathing and called a Nazi by somebody online with the surname St. John, Timothy St. John. And when I said to him, I've heard you on the register, but I don't go blabbing it about like you do, he reported it to the Ombudsman under the name of Mr. Brentnell, which is his real name, and said that I damaged his reputation. Well, no I didn't. I damaged Mr. St. John's reputation, and Mr. St. John doesn't even fucking live. Complainant 1, Davis deliberately assumed the other Davis's identity. This was Mark Davis pretending to be another Mark Davis, enjoying it, relishing in it, getting people to believe it was the other one. The other one's got a bit of a checkered history. And you know, he found out, he thought it was great. The Davis who had been to prison has met me and explained he knew the con, and he knows that I wasn't to blame, that the other Davis did on purpose. Councillor Bainan as well, who was part of the complaint, completely lied in the interview with the Ombudsman. It's a bit like going to the police station and telling them a load of lies on record. And he did this in order to make his malicious complaint more severe. When he was found out, he was given a second attempt to have an interview, aided by yourselves, and he was allowed to give a truthful account. That is stinking of prejudice, and it's disgraceful. I will not accept anything from this bundle, and neither will I acknowledge any communication concerning the prejudice. It's unfairness and bias from your office. I have 2 separate court claims against you now for numerous different unlawful actions against me. I hope that makes everything clear. Basically, leave me alone, you bunch of tossers. Prejudicial bias, deliberately going out of your way to try and get, I'm not even a councillor, try and get me sanctioned. So, Public Services Ombudsman for Mail, do one. Now, that Adjudication Panel email links in quite well to the Standards Committee one that I did attend a couple of months back. A complaint was made that I'd said Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Yellow Lives Matter, extraterrestrials, animals' lives matter, but the context was really about the fact that BLM were chucking bricks at police and having mass demonstrations during lockdown. Anyway, somebody complained about other posts, right, and not this one. However, the Ombudsman decided to take this post, which nobody's complained about, and send it to the Standards Committee. Well, it did go to the Standards Committee, and along with other evidence like forged training documents whereby my name was tip-exed out. So all along I insisted I was not going to participate unless it was public, because I had so much evidence to show the bias and prejudice. I needed this to be in public. In the meantime, they committed a data breach crime as such by sharing the report with the public. So, you know, that was ongoing. At the Standards Committee, they wanted to hold it in private because of the data breach. So what I said to them was, forget it, take the data breach out of it. It has to be public. I'll drop the data breach allegation. Okay, they carried on in private, which was strange. At the beginning, I said, this complaint is bogus. This complaint does not mention the post that you're hearing today. Oh, yes, it does, says the chair, in a bit of an attitude like. So I already knew that this was already predetermined. And she said then about 20 emails also complaining about the post. So I had them in front of me. I said, have you read them? Of course, we've all read the emails, Councillor Dowson. Well, you couldn't have, because not one of those emails, and I've still got them, anyone wants to see them, no problem, does not mention this post that they were hearing at the Standards Committee. So the fact that they continued in private for no reason, I'd agreed to everything as long as we could hold it in public. I just stood up and walked out. They spent the rest of the day then deliberating and came back with saying that the post was racist. Well, it wasn't even fucking complained about. What are you on about?